guys, my name's Vardy, host of Launching Lures, and today we're out on first ice. We're on a small little back lake, and we're going to be fishing for black crappie, and we just got out here and just dropped down, and really in our first one of the not only the day, but also the year. That's our first fish of the ice fishing season. Not a bad little crappie whatsoever. I'm going to pop him off there, throw him back, and get a whole bunch more, hopefully a little bit bigger than that. Let's do it, I'm excited. Alright guys, we're marking some here now. He's coming up. There he is. He hit it pretty good. Not a bad little crappie at all. Not a huge fish, but still lots of fun. Early ice, you kind of take whatever you can get. But hey, that's not a bad fish. Like I said, tons of fun, and hey, one of our first fish of the season, so anything that's willing to bite, we'll take it. Let's get it back, and we're still marking a couple more, so let's keep catching them. Alright guys, we have a couple more fishing on the screen here. Still using that same jig and minnow. Here comes one here, and fish. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got my bobber line. Ooh. Here. There. Not a bad crappie at all. Still not huge, but definitely a lot of fun. That's a good eating size if you guys are going to eat them. Not too big, not too small. Not any of those giant feeders or giant spawners that we like to throw back, but still a nice fish. We're going to throw them back anyways. Get them back here. You guys may have heard me say when I brought that fish up that he got caught up my bobber line, and basically I have a bobber line down there right now because it's a slip float. Basically sometimes the fish are a little bit less aggressive, so I'll just put down that still rod there, and it doesn't hurt. You know, when you're ice fishing you're allowed 2 lines, so you might as well, right? We've gotten a couple fish on that today, a couple smaller ones, but we're getting most of them on the jigging presentation. But hey, even if that just gives us one big fish that makes the day, it's definitely worth putting it down. Alright guys, let's take a quick break from that crappie action to tell you guys how we found these fish today and how you can find those fish as well and get out there and catch some crappie. So basically when you're looking to catch crappie, you're looking for 2 things. First of all, you're looking for the right depth, and second of all, you're looking for the right bottom. So let's start out with depth. So basically the depth that these fish are usually in the winter is 20 to 35 feet. And when you're looking for an area to fish, you're not looking for just that area, just for a short little bit. Like, for example, if you're trying to fish a break, you can't just go out and fish a break in 20 to 35 feet and expect to catch crappie. They hang out in basins. So basically, for those of you who don't know, what a basin is it's a large area with the same depth, not very much bottom change. You know, in a round basin of, say, 500 yards, 500-yard circle, it should only change maybe a foot throughout that whole basin. So they're looking for very flat bottom in 20 to 35 feet. So basically what I'll do the night before I go crappie fishing on a new lake is I'll look on my Navionics on my phone. You can buy the smartphone app, and I'll look at the Navionics there, and I'll mark out the basins in 25 to 35 feet that I can see that I plan on fishing. So after I have those marked out, I'll go out on the morning and I'll start fishing them. I'll start out in a basin that I marked in 20 feet. If there's nothing there, I'll move out to 25 feet, 30 feet, and 35 feet. You try and get basins in all those depths, and you can't always find them in all those depths, and you can't always find them within walking or snowmobile distance of each other, but you try and do what you can. And so you try all those different depth basins, and usually as long as you have the right bottom in at least one or two of those depths, you're going to find these crappies. So when I talk about bottom, basically what I mean is when you're looking for the bottom, like what kind of bottom you want, basically you want a muddy or a soft bottom. So basically the reason for this is a crappie's main diet is little bugs and shrimps and larvae and even the odd crayfish these fish will eat. So the softer, muddier bottom is what these crustaceans and stuff like to hang out in. So basically when the crustaceans are around, that's what's going to bring the crappie around. So as long as you're in that right depth with the right bottom, chances are you're going to find some crappies and have a whole lot of fun, just like we're doing here today. Alright guys, we got some more fish down here again, another school. they've been kind of unaggressive this morning, so we switched up. We were using live minnows, and I switched up to little. Oh, there he is. Got him. Perfect. Not a bad little fish there. Lots of fun. Another nice eating size crappie. Pop him off there and throw him back. Back to what I was saying. All morning we were using live minnows. You know, usually that's about as good as you can get for crappie, but you know, they just weren't really on it. And over the last month or so, right before when we couldn't quite get on the ice, I was watching and reading a lot of articles and videos on the internet. And one thing that I read a lot is that if they're not on a minnow bite, then chances are they're on a bug bite. So what I did is I switched out to a little jig there, and I tipped it with two little gulp alive maggots. And that seems to be what's getting them to go here a little bit better now. So we'll see if my theory is true. So let's see if that works. It seems to be working. We just caught two quick fish on it. One really small one, and then that one you just seen. So either it's starting to pick up a little bit, or we found the pattern. You know what they say? One's a fluke, two's a theory, three's a pattern. Let's see if we can get the third one to go. All right, guys, we got more down there right now. There he is. Looks like a decent fish. He's wrapped up around my transducer. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Not a bad little crappie at all. Gorgeous little fish. Lots of fun. You know, we're not killing them, guys, but we're getting one every 5 minutes or so, so there's nothing wrong with that. Still good fishing. Been waiting all fall for this. Nothing wrong with that. Let's throw them back. I want to show you something here, guys. If you guys look at that, you guys can see how my jig's hanging there. It's not hanging quite right. As you can see, it's slanted way back. What you want to do after catching a fish on a jig like this is just take it and just pull the line back and reposition it. And now see how much straighter my jig looks, and that's going to result in a lot more fish. That's a big tip I can give you. You know, if you don't do that, it could ruin a day of fishing, because not as many fish are going to bite when it's slanted down as it would sitting straight up. So whenever you catch a fish, just make sure to pull that back and catch a whole lot more. Get back down there and catch a whole lot more. Alright, guys, we're marking more fish down there. Still using these gulp alive. Oh, there's one. Oh, that's a better fish. That's a better fish. Right there. Oh, perfect. Beautiful crappie. He was about halfway up in the water column. That's our biggest one of the day so far. That's a 9 to 10 incher. Definitely a gorgeous fish. Pop that jig out. Again, using the bugs. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little fish. Let me explain to you guys kind of what I was doing there. I'll throw this fish back. Again, a lot of people like to eat crappie, but if you're going to eat them, please, guys, don't eat them that big, because that's definitely not what you want to be eating. These are big, nice spawners, and it's good to have these. Are a gorgeous resource, and definitely something that you want to let go. So throw her back. Away she goes. I'll kind of show you guys something a little bit different. There she goes. Something, you know, one thing you may have noticed about that fish is that the fight on it was very, very short. I caught that fish maybe 10 feet down. We're fishing 22 feet. I caught that fish maybe 10 feet down, you know. These flasher units that I'm using, today I'm using the Vexar FL8, sorry. These flasher units that we're using are vital for catching these crappies, because a lot of times a crappie will be suspended. So if you're going to come out here fishing for these crappie, make sure to pick up a flash unit. It'll help a lot. Well, guys, as you can see, we didn't catch a whole bunch of huge fish today. You know, we didn't really catch any big giant ones. But hey, sometimes that's just how fishing works. You know, you don't always catch those big fish as much as we all like to say we always catch those big fish. You know, a bit of a slow day for us today. Not a lot of big fish, but still, we had a lot of fun with those little fish. You know, first ice, you'll take anything you can get. It's always fun. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned some stuff even though you didn't get to see any monsters. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.